Welcome everyone on the Cognitive Services Extravaganza. In this quick time, I will try to show you everything about cognitive services, or that is this how you can start playing with them. So about me, my name is Gosia Bożencka. I work at Avanade as AI engineering. I also AI MVP, and my background is a software developer. So I started from .NET, working with React, Python, and as well for a quick period, I've been Office 365 developer. And as you can see, here is Ada Lovelace. And if you don't know who she is, then sorry, shame on you. But I live in the place where her resting place is. So it's in Hocknell, close to the Nottingham. So let's start talking about cognitive services. So before we start, we need to know what is artificial intelligence. So it's all about reasoning. It's all about understanding the things and interacting with people or other systems. And then coming cognitive services. So there are a lot of pre-trained AI things. And the one fun fact is that before cognitive services come to life, it's called Project Oxford. And all of this was created in Cambridge. So I know that you understand the joke about Cambridge and Oxford here. And it's part of Microsoft AI platform. It's a lot of machine learning APIs. And you have almost 30-ish services that you can easily go and use them. So cognitive services APIs are part of few groups. So first group is decisions. Then is language, speech, vision, and the new one that come out is OpenAI services that currently in general availability. So if you want, you can use if you have some showcase to go with. And what is different between cognitive services and machine learning? So cognitive services are more for developers. There are already APIs that you can go and use them. And with machine learning, you just need some data scientists who can work with all of data and go with it. So if you want to try some machine learning, but you really don't know where you'd go, you can start with cognitive services. And advantage of cognitive services are you can customize for your use case. They're all pre-trained, but as well you can add all of your things into cognitive services and train by yourself, even if you don't know any machine learning knowledge. And it's empower, it's responsible, and it's very easy to deploy for your things. And as well, there are a lot of SDKs, so you don't need to go and create by yourself everything. There are SDKs for Python, C#, Java, JavaScript, or Go. So you just can go and use them to easily create these applications. And as well, if you don't want to have all information of your data in the cloud, you can use containers. So all of these are available containers, and you can have more safe your data if they are sensitive. So how to start with cognitive services? So first, you need to have the Azure subscription. But if you have this one, you can just quickly go to create a resource and find cognitive services. And there are two things you need to know. If you create a basic one, cognitive services, it's a paid one, but you can have access to all of the services in cognitive. So it's vision, decision, language, and speech. So if you want to go with all of them at once, this is very good because you have only one endpoint and one key. But other thing, if you want only try and don't pay for it, you can go with free one. So here I just create a free one, so there is other option. You just need to specify, like, for example, speech API, and then you can try them for free. So it's, how you can see here, the price is free, so I'm not paying for any testing for me. And for each of these cognitive services, the most important thing is the key and endpoint. and also where you're putting the location and region. So when you're planning to use a lot of these cognitive services or other bits from Azure, you just need to remember to put in similar region. If you're using some GA or preview versions and you want to try them, it's the best to use in East US, as most of the information going first there, then going back to other regions. So next close here is the West Europe, and most of them coming there. So when we create cognitive services, we can start thinking which one is the best. So for example, we have a decision. So decision have some pod groups like anomaly detector, content moderator, or personalizer. And with anomaly detector, we can need to put a lot of data, so check how it's working and where there's some anomalies going on. And there is a great demo that you can go and check how it's working on anomaly detection if you don't have any data that you can use. This one is here. And if you can see, this example is based on IoT data. So with IoT, a lot of data just coming, and it's automatically analyzed and checking if there is anything good or bad happening. And here we can see that there is some anomaly, and we can check why this happened, and quickly back to this data and check what's going wrong. So if you would like to check this demo, you can go on this website, and only thing what you will need is just add some endpoint and key and check how anomaly detector working before even you will go and deploy anything for you. There's as well a content moderator. So in content moderator, there are as well other things like image, text, video, and as well there is a human review tool. It's because sometimes a lot of things going on, but still we need a person who will just check if this is correct or wrong. As, OK, we can go and trust the AI, but as we know, sometimes just it's not working as expected. And with content moderator, again, we're just creating, we have a key, we have API endpoint, and everything is going through this AI that is inside. And with, for example, image moderation, there is, for example, evaluation for any adult content. So you can go and check if for our website someone is putting some content or some comment that is not good to be published on our website. So with content moderator, all of this with image can come. So it doesn't matter if it's a text, if it's image, or anything, it can go through this content moderator. It also can detecting faces. So for example, if we would like to push some on our, for SQL Bits, for example, we would like to put a picture, but the children picture shouldn't be there. So with content moderator, we can put and check there is any children on the picture. So we'll ensure that no children is there. And as I mentioned, with image, it's also reading all of the text. So it's getting the text and reading all of this and checking if there is anything that we allow or not allow to go with it. And here is a quick example that you can go and check if there is an adult score, if there is race class, and all of it's coming with these numbers. And this number is a percent of how sure AI is that it's the adult context or the racy context. So we can see here it's almost 0% AI is sure. So 1 is 100%, and 0 is a percent of less. Okay. And it's based on all proficiency. They make a classification on any images that we're creating. Can check as well the personal data. So with text moderation, for example, someone will put our NHS number, and we would like to just remove it because this is some personal data that we don't want to put this into any system that not allow it. It's also adding some autocorrection. If, like me, I'm not fluent with English, so it can easily correct me if I write or say something wrong. And as well, it can create a custom list. So if we have something custom for our organization, it can go as well here. The next support group is personalizer. And here, I know that you know what personalizer is, because, for example, you're using Netflix or other Amazon, and you can see that if you search for some movie, it's just going and recommend you something new. And with personalizers is exactly the same. If you need something for your company that you would like to, for your customers to recommend something, this one can, based on this, what they're looking, what they're putting into your system, and recommend some new features or some new things. And here is example. So like here, Bill likes some hummus, so it's recommend him to buy some other things with price of $10. Or because Amy and her things go back with, because she eating at morning, she's from Midwest, so probably she's vegan, vegetarian, and based on this one, they will all recommend her vegetarian things. The next group is cognitive services for language, and this is the nice one. And cognitive services for language have entity recognition, so it can find entities in our text, can find a sentimental analysis, so if the text is good or it's bad, can add question answering, so it's for both or Q&A, and as well some translator. So with text analytics, there are a lot of things we can do. We can get a language analytics, sentiment analytics, key phrase extraction, etc. And here I have just example written in React. So this is the site when we can get like language detection. And it's going through my Azure portal and checking this one. So it's recognized what language is now. So if I, for example, add now to my code a new language, so for example, we can check that this language, what I just wrote, is written in Polish. So it does that quick. Sorry? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It still understands that even if I make a mistake, it still understands that whole the sentence is in Polish. And as well, it can go with sentiment analysis. So when we write something, it's just going back. So the food and service was unacceptable. The concierge was nice, however. So it's going back with the mixed, because first sentence was negative, but the second one was back with positive. And as well, it's working for a lot of languages. So again, if I add here some other language, for example, then I can add. Of course, we can mix all of this. So here I'm just telling which language is it. But we can mix to understand first getting information, what language is it, and then add an analysis. So here, when I back and click again, it's back with this. I just wrote this conference is super. And it's back with 100% that it's positive, and I'm happy with that. And all of this information is correct. And as well, it can back with key phrase extraction. So if we write any text, it's just getting the key things from the whole text. And again, if we add more things and other languages as well, this will be understand and get all of this. With question answering, it's just simple Q&A. So if you use before question answering, it was in another portal. Now question answering is in the Language Studio. So it's very easy. You just don't need any code experience. You're just adding your files or URL to the website, and it's just getting all information through the Q&A. And you can add this to any of your websites, to your bot, or anywhere. And one fun thing is that when you're creating the question answering, you can add how your bot will or Q&A will behave. So you can add, for example, none. So you will add like what they say when you say hello, how they will answer, or who create you. So depend on the website you're creating or bot. You can say that it's a friendly one, so it will say very nice thing, or it will be like little witty, and it will say some silly things like the, I don't know, some other AI create me. So it depends on your business. You can just go and create this one. You can, of course, check how it's look like. And also with here, we can add extra bits that it's good for us. So here I have example that in each region in the UK, you differently name this bit. I don't know how you name this here, but you can call it cobs, buns, babs, bun cake, bread roll, or others. And this is important for your organization because in each of the organization you have different slang that you're using. And here, for example, with Q&A or other things, you can just add the slang to your application so people can better understand what is going on. And then we have Language Studio, when you all can go and check how it's working before you deploy anything to the production. So with Language Studio, you need to, of course, have the subscription. You can have Ask Me F0, so it's a free one. So you don't need to pay for anything. You can just go and check. And here you have a lot of things that you can go and check. So you can go with like extract information and try them, or translate the text. So you can add some documents and see how this will go when you will translate in the text. So I really recommend, if you would try to start with a language, go here and test all of these things before you will go with. And the custom text classification. So here where you can go and train your data, your things. So you can select data, you can define the schema, you can label of this data, and then train the model. And then, of course, like all of the AI things, you need to, again, improve model because new things coming. You can check how users behave, what language they're using, and again, add new things to classify the text. The next one is cognitive services for speech. And for speech, there are a lot of things like speech-to-text, text-to-speech, speech translation, speaker recognition, and Speech Studio as well, when you can go and try things. So you as well can add the custom speech. So it depends of your company, or from your organization, how you want to use it. So you can create a custom speech project, upload a lot of audio so they can understand how it's going on, how it's trained. Test this one and go and integrate with the endpoint, and then with API, simple API, then use this one. With text-to-speech, you can just add just some text input, and it will going to understand this one. So here I have some quick demo in the Python. So it's, of course, using SDK, so I don't need to write anything to just understand this, what's going on. So I'm just using speech SDK, audio that I will say, and then I'm just telling what voice name it will be. So here first is just gender neutral. So if I say hello from SQL Bigs, it should speak. It should hear it. But as well, we can use different languages. So as here we have Polish one, or even we can use this one, and this one is a child. So even we can add some child to our voice. Yeah, I don't know why we cannot hear this one, but it should be here that it's a child voice. So it's really funny to just make some things in the application. Of course, for English speakers, it's the more voices that you can use. You can use female, male, child. For others, it's usually only female and male that you can use, but it's still good to use them. The good thing is also the speech translation. So it's when you're speaking in one language, it's getting automatically translated, recognized in which language you're speaking, checking that it's correct, so it's making a true text, and moving back to, again, to speak this new text when it's translated by machine. And because the languages are different, so when you speak in English, the grammar is different than you speaking in French. So this is very difficult for machine as well to really understand the whole context, not only word by word, but the whole context to translate this one. And it's, of course, still needs a lot of improvements, but it's better and better each time when it's used, and it's going feedback from developers. And we have a speech studio, and you can go and check how all things going. So which speech studio, again, you can go and check before you upload anything to your application, check how it's working. And for example, if you would like to go with custom speech, you have this how it looks like. You just need to upload a lot of data. And you can do it with plain text, you can do with structure, with some audio. If there is some pronunciation, it's also good. So for example, we have a lot of different names, and sometimes it's difficult to pronounce and know how to say that name. And with pronunciation, we can just teach people in our organization how to say the name. So this is very great. Again, you can go with a free one to test it and check how it's working before you will start paying for Azure. There is also a speaker recognition when there are people speaking. So for example, if you're using Microsoft Teams, and it's record for you and going to Office 365, you can see that it says who speak and what they speak. So it's translated very nice. And this as well, if you would like for your organization and people would like to use this one, they can go with it. And this is a very great example. If you know that there is a Duolingo using Azure custom speech. And if you not use it, this is how they go with. Why we not hear anything?
New lessons depending on what they're doing at the time. And it adds depth and brings that content to life, as we've seen before, learning experience. That's enough of us talking. Now let's hear from our characters, who can speak for themselves.
We each have our own personalities.
And we have backstories and relationships,
which help to add depth to our characters.
It makes language learning more fun.
And provides lots of variety for learners to hear.
Not just one or two, but many different people's voices.
Putting everyone together brings language learning alive.
Get to know our stories.
As you learn to read, write, listen, and speak with Duolingo.
Gracias.
Merci.
Hasta la vista.
Yeah, so this is a great example how custom speech is used. So this, what they do, they have actors who come and give their voice for these characters, and they, based on that, they create in different languages and different things. So we can easily go and listen to it in Duolingo. And the almost last group of services is the vision. So with vision, we have 3 things. We have computer vision, custom vision, and face API. And I think this one is the most popular. So we also have a vision studio when you can extract text and check everything before you try it. And with computer vision, you can check OCR, so it's going to check your image and read the text and check what is it and put it back. So here we can see it's going back by where is the bounding box, what is the text, and then going by word. So it's exactly showing you where exactly the word is on the picture. And here also can take a handwriting. So if you're handwriting as well, it can go and check what is it and understand how it's. Of course, we're not talking about bad handwriting because it still don't understand that much. But probably if we train this enough, it could go. And next, it can understand the whole picture or photo. So if we look at this photo, we can think what it's showing us. And there are main groups that computer vision can go with. So it can go with abstract, animal, outdoor, and other stuff, and put to our tags and description. So based on this picture, the computer vision go back with people is swimming, and it's 97% sure of that. And as well, a man swimming in a pool of water, and it's 89%. So it's pretty good, and it's telling the good one. And as well, it's going back with some tags for the picture. So if we're putting in a picture and we would like to be more accessible for everyone, the tags is really good to just add to the website. And this can help us to automatically go and add them. So we have like water, human face, pool, sport, and I think all of them are correct based on this picture. And as well can go with faces, so it's going to find where the face is, and it's getting what age and gender, etc. It also can back with some face and emotions, so can detect, analyze, can say what age some people are, can face in the group of faces, and each of them selecting. And as well can identify and verify if who is on the picture. So this is my picture taken in Microsoft Reading. And you can think about what you can see, how old I am here, what facial things I have. And based on the face API, it's going back exactly where my face is in the square. And this is how the computer detect and analyze everything. So it's checking where is the eyeballs, where the eyes, nose, and mouth. So it's focusing only on this one. And when we think about computer vision, the computer cannot see exactly how we think. It's seeing only just small pixels and combine all of them. So it's not that easy for computer vision like for our eye. And it can detect age, what emotion I have, if I have any glasses, if I have a makeup, if I smile or not. And here it's telling me that on this picture I have 38 years old. I don't have any mustache, red, and I don't have makeup, but probably lip makeup. And this is funny thing because I test with a lot of friends the face recognition, and if you not smile, you are younger than you are. If you smile, you are older one. It's because probably the more things coming around your face, so that's why. And next one is the custom vision. So with custom vision, you can upload the images, train them, and then evaluate. So here I have example, this one. So this is what I've done in Avanade for one hackathon together with the team, and we win this one, so I'm very proud to show this one. So we've done a lot of pictures about showing this small number. There is 5, 4, and other one. And the problem was that in each county in the UK, differently you segregate all of this plastic. So it was very difficult to everyone to be carbon footprint. So this is what you're doing. You're just doing a lot of pictures, putting them, and tag them. And if you have any untagged, you always can go, click here. And it's very easy because you're just clicking. It's finding the exactly picture. And you can go find that it's a green dot, and just close, and it will remember. Next time, you just need to train again. And then it's going by performance. Of course, if more you pay for it, then it's better. So like here, we pay for 4 hours to go and find it, and it's 87, precision is 81%. But if we go, for example, for first one, it's just slower, because more you train, the better outcome will come. And then when we go, we have just prediction. We have our view endpoints that we can use in any application. So you're just using this, and it's easy one. So you don't need any other things to care about. The last group is Azure Open AI services. And I think everyone is talking now about this, especially ChatGPT. So OpenAI now is in general available, and anyone from company email address can access it. Only this what you need to have idea what you want to show with it, and get approval to have access to OpenAI. And then you can use the Studio, you can use the Python on REST API. And there are free models. There is GPT-3, so it's to generate the text, Codex to get some code for you, and still in preview is DALL-E, that is generating images based on this what you will type in. And there are a few models. So there is models like DaVinci, Curie, Babbage, and Ada. And you don't need to know exactly what they're doing. But there is some model comparison. Most of them doing similar things. It's just the cost and how many tokens they're using, what kind of parameters, and how accurate they are. And when we're talking about tokens, tokens is like each word that we're putting to call it. So like here we have the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. It's 9 tokens that we'll use for Azure OpenAI. And it can use in a lot of things. So it can create some content that we would like to have, some summarization for our text that we put in, can generate a code for us, or can use even in semantic search to better search. And one of cool thing is a Copilot. I don't know that you use this one. But with Copilot, you can just type few bits in the Visual Studio, and the rest will showing you how it works. So for example, you would like to create some REST API, and you just type in function, REST API, and rest you will get there. So if we go to Azure OpenAI, so this is what we have. We have OpenAI. When we can just generate, we can go to Azure Open Studio. But one thing different than the normal OpenAI is that we need to generate some model that we'll use. So we have few models that we can use. So there is, as I mentioned, models Ada, Curie, DaVinci. And the text DaVinci 003 is more accurate for most of things that we're doing. Or GPT 3.5 Turbo is for ChatGPT that we can use. And then we have the Azure OpenAI services that we can go and just go and check how they're working when we create a development. So we can create from here as well. So the name is not matter what you will put. It's matter later. It's matter later when you will use in your application. So when come on, select. Oh, okay, it's not working for me. It's me. Let me try one again. Try deployment, select one, ChatGPT. And it's very quickly just creating the model. And then we can go and start using here for typing anything that we'll think about. And as well, we have this ChatGPT playground. It's still in preview that you can use and chat this what we have in ChatGPT. But if you don't have access to Azure and you still would like to go with OpenAI, you just can go to the openai.com, and there also you can start using this, what Microsoft later will use with Azure. And you have a lot of examples like text generation, speech to text. Some of them is still in beta. And one of cool thing is like JavaScript sandbox. So for example, I would like for me that generate a green bouncing ball. So when I go here and click, it's starting to create a code for me. So I don't need to do anything. So simple, easy code is going to generate. And as well, it's showing me the result. And then, for example, I would like add the blue background. So it's adding extra things to the code, and then I have. And anything you will add, so like draw a red square. It's going to add this to the code, and all of this I have written in the, oh, it's not showing, in the JavaScript, so I just can copy, paste, and then I have. And of course, most of you here or use the ChatGPT, so it's easy. For me, it's more like using Google when I can ask the question and go with it. So if I have any problem with code, I can just write that I have this error. Can you help me to resolve this one? And if it's not going, it's good because it's remember your conversation. So you can go and create better response. So like here I have some C# issue. Oh, it's logged me out. I have some C# issue, so I write that I have some code error, and it's going back with me, what should I add, what is the best way to add this one, and it still remember, and it's very helpful for me. So I really recommend if you go and use Azure OpenAI. So where are cognitive services used? If we go, it can be used in both services. So for example, Power Virtual Agents, when you can go and add there. It can use in cognitive search. So the very great example is GFK files. So you can go there when they analyze, push all of the documents there, and how you see if you search by anything, it's showing you also on the image. So it's very cool. You can use with former recognizer. So you're just adding this, selecting where exactly things are going on, and analyze your documents. The one cool is video indexer. So with video indexer, it's just going to show you things on the video. So this is what you're doing. You're just uploading the video, and it's analyzing for you. And I will not play this one because it's pointless. But here is where David Craig speaking in Russian. So it can go and find and translate for you. It's finding where exactly the people are in the video. So we just can easily click, and it will go to this place. Can create some observe view, some topics. But one cool also thing is that automatically it can translate us to any language we're speaking. So if only one click, we can see that all of these things are translated. So it's working with anything, just like here with SQL bits. It's also create where some people are going on, where they happening. It's find like 154 people that's showing on this video. And it's also going with all keywords, labels, name entities, and some things that we can easily go and use, and then going to be translated. It's also going with some metric advisory. Cognitive services are used. And this one is cool. It can go with immersive reader. So you can use this one very easily if you have Edge. So if you go to any website, and just click here, you have immersive reader. So this is my post that I wrote a few years ago. And it can read you out. It can show the text preference. So for example, you would like to see everything on black screen or on white screen. It can come with some grammar too, like syllabs, parts of speech, where they are. But with reading preference, they also can translate you for different language. So for example, we can translate this for the French, and it's automatically translate us to the French. And then we can go that, make the syllabs and show everything of this. And click read loud for us.
Que sont les services cognitifs?
So we can then listen how it's going on and better understand the language. And it's very good for people with dyslexia, as English is a very difficult language to understand, to speak, and more to read and write. So it's very good for all the people to better understand this one. And of course, Office 365. Anything with AI, with cognitive services going first, so Office 365. And there are a lot of AI that we can easily use. And as well with application platforms, so like Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, or Viva Insights. I really love Viva Insights because this what it's doing for me is just setting a time when I can focus at work, but also telling me that, OK, it's time to go home, so I can just start thinking about going out of the work. And one important thing is when we're creating any AI things is thinking about responsible AI. And this is how we're thinking, because this is how we're creating AI and all of these things based on our experience. So, for example, here we have 90% male attendance. And you'll think differently than if you add more people with other race, other gender, and other thinking around. And this is important to go with responsible AI, and there is a lot of examples. For example, like Steven Wozniak, he was go for a credit score, and he got the really high one. But his wife, that go for similar job or for similar things, she got a lower score because AI system telling that because she is a female, she probably not work that much as he. So that's why when we're creating any responsible AI, we need to think about all things around, and it's the best to add more people to our team to work with this. And Microsoft trying to add for cognitive services all of this to be fairness, to have a privacy, security, transparency, and accountability. And you, of course, can read for all of this the transparency notes so you can know how they're using AI to be good for everyone. So going to quick summary, with cognitive services, we have main 4 groups, speech, language, vision, and decision. I not put OpenAI here as this is still in GA, so there are 4 main one. And there are as well 3 studios that we can go and check it. It's Speech Studio, Language Studio, and Vision Studio. And also, you can try your query so before you do anything as well. And this is really great site. So you have all of these cognitive services. You can go, click, and check on which region you are, how they're going on. You can see all polls, guess, and anything, and test it to put on your website. As well, you have here some examples of how they're going back with JSON. And as well, the code samples is any of this, how to use this one in your application. So it's a very good website to start creating application. And using cognitive services is very easy. You just need the key and endpoint, and then you can use with any of application you would like to. REST API, SDK, AI Builder, Power Automate, etc. And with SDKs, as I mentioned, there are a lot of languages that you can just easily use, and you don't need to create all code to understand what's coming from the vision. You just have it in SDK. And AI is using in the future, so you can use this everywhere in mixed reality, quantum computing, blockchain. So we see already that AI going in our everyday life. And you can learn more. So where you can learn more from about cognitive services. First, you can, of course, can have for free the Azure subscription, but as I mentioned, you also can create for free this F0 services. There is also hands-on with AI on AI demos when you can go and check how the cognitive services or all the AI projects that Microsoft creating are used. There is also AI School when you can go and check and go with your learning path, how you can go through AI and go with it. And the one more thing is Azure Roadmap. It's very good to go here and check how it's going and what is changing in cognitive services and what is coming soon. Of course, the main side of Azure Cognitive Services, the documentation is pretty good, so you can go there and check how it's working. And one thing what is Cloud Skill Challenge, when for 30 days you can go and challenge yourself to learn about AI, cognitive services, and other fundamentals about AI. So that's all from me. It was very quick, but there is a lot with cognitive services nowadays, and it's very difficult to put this in 50 minutes. Thank you. Yeah, I think I don't have any time to answer the question, but I will be here still, so if you would like to chat about cognitive services or AI, just come to me. Thank you.